Hey there, YouTube. We're trying this for a third time. We got bogged down pretty heavily with an abortion debate. Everyone's favorite. Everyone loves talking about abortion. We're loving it. This is the news underground. We don't avoid those awkward conversations. But I would like to transition over to the good news section before we get to Ukraine. Thank you for agreeing with me, Kissing Gonzo. But let's get into it. This makes my lefty heart sing. I love to see it. It's animals. It's solar power. It's everything we love as lefties, so let's go ahead.
The image of a shepherd tending a flock of sheep goes back centuries, but lately it's gotten quite a modern update.
Panda
in
Man,
many parts of the country,
you're not in charge
agricultural
here.
land is now home to the massive panels of the booming solar energy industry, and that land remains suitable for grazing farm animals.
You have my personal permission to completely fucking ignore Panda Man forever. Not a single fucking word should be respected. I don't know why you're here, man.
Which in turn control the growth of vegetation around the panels. Solar grazing, as it's known, is just one example of the agri-solar industry, a growing space which combines the old and new to enhance both the economy and the environment.
You ready, Reg? Oh, wait a minute.
It is a border collie's dream come true. 6 acres of land, calling for Reggie to do what she was born to do.
Good girl, get it, bitch.
Now, respect is earned, Helda Rose. Respect is earned. And while sometimes I respect the, Panda Man's opinion, I swear to God, it's like 1 out of 5. It's 1 out of 5. All right? So respect is earned, and Panda Man has not earned that shit. Not from me. Not from me. Reaganomics supporting motherfucking trickle down motherfucking economy. Over here talking about Milton Friedman shit. Talking about Tim Pool's a lefty. Talking about Joe Rogan who voted Bernie. Get that shit out of my motherfucking chat, dude. Oh, Joe Rogan's a progressive.
Herding a flock of 32 sheep under the watchful eye of her owner.
Good girl, good girl. Hi, sheep.
Dan Finnegan.
One well-trained border collie like Reggie is worth 5 full-time employees.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Between the sheep and the dog, I'm just a driver.
Here we go.
Dan
really
is
jealous.
more than
I kind of want to change my career.
He's a third-generation sheep farmer in southeastern Massachusetts.
This is real living.
And while this isn't his family farm, it is Dan, Reggie, and the flock's office for the day.
Man, this is so cool.
Together, they make up Solar Shepherd, working with large energy companies across the U.S. using the sheep to graze sites like this one, which host solar arrays. In Dan's words, they're in the lambscaping business.
Did people think you were crazy or
At
not?
the very
We'll see,
beginning,
Panda Man.
At the very beginning,
You know too much about me. But yeah, we'll see, Panda Man. We'll see. I hate that people know this shit about me, man. I'm just gonna start telling lies about myself. That's what I'm gonna do, dude. I'm just gonna lying about myself. Y'all know way too much about me.
conversations were centered around you'd like to do what on our solar array?
Yeah.
No, Chem Goblin, he just leaves the poop there. It's good for the grass. It's good for the, environment. It's good for pollination. Not enough sleep for that field. Cheap. No, he gets it done. Couple days, man.
Yeah.
Now that's not so much the case.
Listen to the
Good
stats.
girl, lie down.
Dan started Solar Shepherd 5 years ago.
Why do you think it's been embraced?
These sheep are eventually slaughtered and sold on the meat market. Spoiler, I'm sorry. They don't mention that in this story, but that is absolutely what's happening.
So easily now, or at least so well now.
Well,
I want to,
first
Ken.
and foremost, the sheep do a great job.
Excellent workers.
They're wonderful workers. They do a great job of managing the vegetation on the solar array. They fit underneath the solar panels. The old-fashioned way of managing these sites would be to come in with a crew of 5 or 8 guys on zero-turn mowers with the bulk of their time spent running weed whackers underneath the solar panels to get all that vegetation that grows under there. A site like this, you'd probably send an 8-man crew for 3 days each time they
Fix and
mow
repair
it,
them.
at least 3 or 4 times a year.
Time and money.
Time and money.
Davey is officially the motherfucking party pooper of the motherfucking day, dude. Congratulations to Davey, who was literally trying to find the shittiest opinions he can conjure. Congratulations to Davey for winning today's Party Pooper Award Party pooper award of the day. Congratulations, Davey.
There's also the environmental impact.
Lamb is good.
According to a recent study, if all sheep in the U.S. were shifted to agri-solar farms, the reduction in carbon emissions would be the same as removing 117,000 cars from the road. This field, which Solar Shepherd grazes, is one of 30
Those fainting sheep are cool.
owned and operated by National Grid, responsible for providing power to
Welcome
more
back,
than
Dravenflow.
20 million customers in the Northeast.
This brings energy into the grid.
Yeah, we'll see, Chem Goblin. I have a lot of training. If I want to join this field, I have to train from I have to learn how to be an electrician first. So there's like a whole bunch of training I have to do. So we'll see.
Steve Werner is the president for National Grid New England.
What was it about agri-solar
coming
that
up here,
attracted
Lenny.
National Grid?
It's an interesting solution to a problem that we have, right? So we installed large-scale solar for residents of Massachusetts. We need to maintain the vegetation, the grass,
Oh, I'm not sure the source of the stats.
grows on those properties. We came across this idea and said, hey, this is a win-win. It's cost-effective, it's environmentally responsible, it's friendly to the neighbors, and this is just another example of how an area that was agricultural use still can be,
Yes,
and also
Equidari,
be
yes.
a generator.
Those stacked benefits from solar grazing, especially when it comes to the environment, are exceeding expectations, according to Stacy Peterson.
We're seeing sometimes a threefold increase in pollinators. We're seeing 3 times the
huge.
amount of birds,
We want bees. We want birds. Yes, we do.
bees, bats, butterflies.
Yep.
She's the energy program director at NCAT's AgriSolar Clearinghouse, a government-funded information hub for all things agri-solar.
How much has this industry grown in the last 5 to 10 years?
So much. This is taking off all across the country and all across the world, really. We're there to help you figure out what's best for your area and connect you with the right people that might help you do this if you want this at your farm or if you want this in your community.
Solar grazing is just
Jordan Peterson can gobble my entire package for life.
one of many in the agri-solar sphere. On solar sites nationwide, there are pollinators and beekeeping, crops grown, cattle raised, even fish farmed. Peterson says
it.
the opportunities appear endless.
Oh my God.
So this is
My
going to be a
cockles.
game changer in being able to move forward sustainably.
People may not see agriculture and solar as fitting together naturally. Why would you say that they maybe do?
I think that it is another crop. They're harvesting the sun again. They are providing the crop of energy. And they're doing that in a way
Yeah,
that they
Hilda
can
Rose,
sustain
I'm
their
reading your
farm.
comment here.
I'm talking to farmers that they're able to pay for their farm for generations. They look at this as a way to be a good steward of the land. It does not come in with a mini mall. It doesn't come in with a residential development. This is something that can be returned completely to agricultural lands.
And with the number and size of farms in the U.S. steadily declining over the
I think nuclear energy is a good transition, right? As we are trying to transition into green energy more and more and more, if we need a power plant and we just don't have the renewable resources, yes, that plant should be nuclear. But it should only be a transition kind of thing. We shouldn't, and I think we should have a couple nuclear power plants, like just ready to turn on in case we need them. You know what I mean? Just like, chilling unless we actually need them, and then we can flip them on. Because, we need electricity. Society needs electricity. But I think, as we depend more and more on renewables, we lean on nuclear where we need to. The technology has gotten better, but the nuclear waste is the big thing. Nuclear power still generates radioactive nuclear waste that needs to be stored permanently for the rest of humanity's existence, basically, until the fucking sun dies out, right? So that's the big problem, is that it creates a need to store. And how do they store it? The cheapest way possible. They throw it in Yucca Mountain or some bullshit, right? There's no obligation for them, like after a couple decades, to even maintain it. So as long as we're handling the waste appropriately, yes, I think it's better than coal, it's better than diesel, it's better than all the alternatives outside of straight renewables, wind, solar, that kind of thing.
last 15 years,
Hey, there. Rich.
Yes, exactly. Hilda Rose.
that may be the
100%.
relief many have been looking for.
100%.
It certainly has been for Dan Finnegan and Reggie.
Yep.
Without this solar
can absolutely
operation and the
legislate that.
added pasture it brings us, we wouldn't have a sustainable farm. We need this. And I think there are a lot of other farmers
Interesting
in that same
idea,
boat.
Woke Patriot.
When you think about how many animals you need to produce a living, particularly in the Northeast here, it takes a lot of acreage to do that. So the 100 acres of solar pasture we have under management, that makes our farm sustainable. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to continue. So we're producing food, fiber, and energy all from the same acre of land. It's a smarter way to use this land.
Maybe. Make sure you show them legs nice and prominently, CBS Saturday morning. How come he's not sitting on the side? How come he's not sitting over here, CBS? I'm sure he has some nice legs. Helder Rose, we had some really, for the first time in history, we covered this on this channel. We had a positive energy production from a nuclear fusion reaction, or from a fusion reaction, not a nuclear fusion reaction. Sorry, from a fusion reaction, we had a positive energy gain. So, yeah, that's the theory has been proven true. Okay, can they refine the technology to actually benefit society? We'll see, right? We obviously can't lean on that right now. Dravenslow, leakage of radioactive materials is a pervasive problem at almost 90% of all reactors. That's what I'm talking about. They're not obligated to worry about that, right? They skimp and save and cut corners on the nuclear waste, as are issues that pose a risk of nuclear accidents when we fix this. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. But hey, fusion tech, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, right? So, I do think the lefty knee-jerk reaction against nuclear power is often counterproductive sometimes. But yeah, there you go, YouTube. That's the good news for today. Sheep grazing in a sunny field. Honestly, the more I work my shitty job, the more I see a farmer like that, and I'm like, this guy's got it figured out. I'd be smoking doobs all day, hanging out with my sheep, some random patch of grass with some solar panels. Oh, man. That actually sounds like heaven. It does. I know Zoomers are like, what are you talking about? That sounds like hell. No, it's awesome. That's awesome. There you go. That's my good news.